So today's book review is about Bride, and it just and I listened to it on the Libby app. And if you don't have the Libby app, it's so good. My best friend recommended it to me, and it took me like a week to download it. I was definitely listening to her, but it took me like a week to download it, and it seems like you just put it's a free library app. So you get a library card. I already have library cards. I have two, and you put them in the app, and you can borrow audiobooks and books from the library like digitally. And what I like to read, I like to listen to the audiobook versions. And so it'll say like 3 weeks to borrow or like however to borrow. And some of them will let you borrow right away, but the really popular ones take a while. And but sometimes it's just like you wake up in the morning, you check the app and it's available because people just consume media so quickly, just like me. I'm washing the dishes, I have a book on. I'm doing the laundry, I have a book on. Like, I'm doing a puzzle, I have a book on. So constantly consuming. So Bride was one of those books that was like kind of like in the back of my mind, not really on the forefront, but it was on my list and I'm scrolling. I'm like, oh, hey, Bride. And I haven't heard very much about this book. I've heard that it's good. Woo, but that's all I heard. And so, yeah, I got it and I am so pleasantly surprised. I knew it was about a werewolf, and there's all these like short stories about like the alpha, and he's like the leader of the pack and all that stuff. And I'm a Twilight fan. And so I got the book and was immediately hooked in. I listened to this book in like one day. I just was like, some audiobooks you listen to and they're hard. Like there's, what is it, The Pumpkin Cafe, that's just starting to get good like right now, towards like the middle end. But yeah, this book like instantly got good. So it's about this girl named Misery. Yeah. Yeah, her name is Misery. And she's a vampire, and she's kind of been like passed around by her father, not in the sense of like that, but like he needed a treaty, so she went and lived here. She couldn't live with the vampires, so she ended up living with the humans. The humans were mean to her, so she never really had a home. She finally made a friend, and her friend disappeared, and she gets married to Lo as like a treaty wife. And but he's a werewolf, and I think, well, I know he likes her instantly. She's attracted to him because he's very attractive from the way the book reads. He's very big and like bulky, and also just a good, healthy leader for the pack. And that's always attractive. Like a good, strong leader who cares about people is like just so beautiful. Um, so she's falling in love with him, but also she's just a vampire. So he's like awake during the day, and she's just asleep. Like they have like very normal problems, because they're just interspecies, and like species don't really do that. So humans are around somewhere, but they're not. Whatever. Anyways, there's this kid, and I picture this kid in my mind like that little dog from Hotel Transylvania that's like with the little bow, and she's just like, "Wah!" That's how I picture her, because she's a werewolf kid and she's literally climbing the walls in her room, and she's like, hey girl. She's like, hi, blah, 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 blah. So one night she notices something weird, like a guy's trying to take her into the forest, and she's like, what? She jumps out there to defend the kid. Lo comes. Lo's like, what are you doing out here? She's like, why do you have a guard on my door? And he's like, to protect you, because my whole existence right now is protecting you. That's the point of our marriage. And she's like, oh. He's like, well, why did you come out here? She's like, to protect the child. I mean, I don't know her, but I don't want her getting kidnapped. So we find out like what the deal is with the kid. I don't want to tell that part of it. And then we find out what the deal is with the people that like do not want him to be the lead, and why they don't want him to be the lead, and who the lead was before, and all that. And in the meantime, they're just falling for each other, and he's trying to like, they have a moment, then he pushes her away, and then we figure out why he pushes her away, and they end up having a real marriage at the end. So there's a lot of like drama with the pack. There's drama with the vampires. We meet her brother. Um, there's drama. There's drama there. She's like, my brother, blah, and turns out her brother is like decent. and her dad's doing some kind of shady things that maybe are just like a part of the past in the vampire world. One of the things I will say about this book is I like that werewolves are presented differently. And I think we're moving towards that with kind of some of the short stories I was telling you about that I watch, like those, what are they, real movies, and it's like romance things. But like in Twilight, the vampires had all the money, and because they were so old, and in these books it seems like the werewolf infrastructure is a lot stronger, so it's kind of equal footing. I really like that. I like that to see, and of course, like every pack has their issues, but I like to see that. Oh, and Lowe's pack is one of the largest in the country, so he is doing very cool leadership things. In my mind, I pictured like some type of dark castle off in the woods somewhere, that's like very, that's nice but not over the top, but is like when you see it you're like wow. And I don't know why my mind created that type of picture of the home. I think because of all the guards and just like my idea of vampires, and um kind of how they said the pack is so large and there's constantly a guard and all these things. They also had parties and stuff like that. So I pictured a little bit of grandeur on the werewolf end. So yeah, I'm going to give this book a 4.5. I don't think I've read a 5 yet, but this book is going to make my 4.5 list, and my 4.5 list might end up being a 5 as time, the 5 list, as I go on and like consume more media. But for now, I would say if you're on the fence about Bride, it is a good read. And yeah. Okay, bye.